Hey friends, you are listening to This Quote Changed My Life, a podcast about inspired action. I'm your host, Tracy. It is so lovely to have you back. I hope you are still doing okay out there where you are. I would love for you guys to reach out to me through Instagram to let me know how you are. I'm at Make Sunshine Co. That's C-O. I appreciate you guys so much, and I am so happy to see you still listening to the podcast. Today's quote is one that I know has really touched a few people I've shown in the past. When I came across it last year, I felt an instant shift in the way I was dealing with the changes I'd been going through since the start of perimenopause. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to go into detail about my experiences with menopause and hormones, but I will say it has hit me by surprise about how much I've had to stay mindful, sometimes on a daily basis, about the changes I'm going through. So today's quote is a short poem by a beautiful writer named Holly Holden. The poem goes, "Today I asked my body what she needed, which is a big deal considering the journey of not really asking that much. I thought she might need more water, or protein, or greens, or yoga, or supplements, or movement. But as I stood in the shower reflecting on her stretch marks, her roundness where I would like flatness, her softness where I would like firmness, all of those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness, she whispered very gently, 'Could you just love me like this?'" Now, isn't that an amazing poem? That last line gets me every time. Could you just love me like this? That line has served me well since I first read it, but especially now that we've been in isolation for almost 3 months at this stage, my body has definitely changed slowly, and the effects of staying in, not being as active in the same ways as before, not having access to as many fresh vegetables and grains I was eating before, even to the fact that I have less time to look after myself the way I did before isolation, because my 3 kids have been home with me the whole time. All of these things sound like excuses, but this is just what life has become lately, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. So my body and my mind have started to show signs of stress, and my very first thoughts were, oh my God, how do I fix this? What have I done wrong? What can I do now to make it go away? And the dreaded, I'm no good like this. Can you relate to these thoughts? And it's so sad that a lot of us are programmed automatically to think this way, that when we're already stressed, we add more questions and more things to do immediately without thinking that maybe actually we're okay right now, that we were already working on our health and we just needed time, or that we are aware of how we've changed, and maybe instead of trying to panic and pivot, we need to cut ourselves a break and focus on the good things we're already doing. Maybe instead of focusing on just how we looked, we listen to how we felt a bit more. And I do bring it back to that question a lot when I coach. How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel looking at your body after children? How do you want to feel after you've completed a workout? How do you want to feel day to day, no matter what? Would you want to feel proud of yourself for how far you've come along already? Would you want to feel like those stretch marks are battle scars and reminders of the children you gave life to? Would you want to feel that you love yourself enough to appreciate the work your amazing body has done for you its entire life? Body image is such an important thing to talk about, especially when we have young kids watching our every move. They do listen to us, even if we're not aware. The way we look at and treat ourselves will have an effect on our kids. So this is part of the reason why I wanted to talk about self-love and body image today. The way we speak to ourselves matters. The language we have around our self-worth matters. So how do we turn this around? It starts by noticing what we say about our bodies, what they look like, what they do, and notice if you're inclined to be more negative about it. Things like, I've put on 5 pounds, I'm huge. Or I can never go running, I'm not fit enough. Or I need to lose these 5 kilos this week or I will be so mad at myself. Or I could never wear that, I'm too big and too old. Or I need to do 3 more hours of cardio because I looked bloated. Once you catch yourself being so down about yourself like that, try to stop and take a deep breath. And if you can, go a step further and flip the script. Ask yourself if you could love yourself a bit more today. Ask yourself that instead of launching into a full-on training session or express shipping supplements and the new crazy diet trend, instead of letting yourself think that you've let yourself down in any way, show yourself the grace and respect you would give a dear friend or even a younger version of yourself. Would you be saying those things to your children? Would you be saying these things out loud to yourself in front of others? Instead of letting yourself believe that you are no good, could you let yourself believe today, right in that moment, you are always worthy of love, not just from others, but from yourself? Could you believe for a moment that you already know how to take care of yourself? That you don't need to keep searching, keep hustling, keep buying into stuff. That maybe all you need is time. And maybe even then, if this is the body you're stuck with, could you let yourself appreciate what you have? Now, this is not to tell you to never seek out help or support if you do have health issues that need addressing. I absolutely want you to find a health professional suitable to you. But I think it's important that you also be mindful and acknowledge the part of you that just need a little bit more kindness instead of panic and sadness. Imagine how much lighter you would feel. And I'm not talking about your weight. If you are mindful of change and how no one ever stays the same, and there is always beauty and value in our current form. I can tell you that I know I'm different. I always have been and always will be, and that is my ever unfolding human experience. I hope that this quote, this poem, will become something that you can always refer back to when you start to think unkindly of yourself, when you start to feel like you're relying too much on quick fixes, because I'm confident that you don't need fixing. You just need a little bit more self-love. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. What did you think of the poem by Holly Holden? Have you heard it before? I will pop a copy of the poem on my website if you wanted to check it out and save it. Like I said, it's one of those that I think is really important for everyone to read, men and boys, as well as women and girls, because I think we lose sight of who we are today, projecting too far in the future. Taking care of yourself also means slowing down and letting yourself just be who you are today. I hope you can do that, and I do hope that you are staying safe where you are. Come and find me on Instagram at MakeSunshineCo, or visit my website makesunshine.org. I'll speak to you next week.